An airport is a country's gateway, and last Friday, that gateway descended into chaos when a Xiamen airliner skidded off the runway after it tried to make a second attempt to land. And it took days before the turbulence subsided that we all had to fasten our seatbelts for a very bumpy ride.
Hindi naman nag-inform sa amin na delay pala yung flight.
Wala silang mabigay ng clear information.
Baka naman matulog ako dito ng ilang linggo, ng buwan.
Tonight we have on the show Ambassador Francis Chua of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Chairman Emeritus, who will speak about San Miguel Corporation's unsolicited proposal for an airport in Bulacan. And joining us by video call and telephone later, Senator Nancy Binay, she's joining us by phone, Congresswoman Bernadette Herrera D, and Congressman Cesar Sarmiento, who chairs the House Committee on Transportation. But sir, Ambassador Chua, let's begin with you. Thank you very much for being here. And before anything else, you have your own horror story to tell. What happened to you on Saturday?
First, thank you for inviting me, Pia. That Saturday, I was on a trip to Hong Kong with my family. The original schedule is 2:30 in the afternoon. So I leave the house early.
And this was just a few hours after the runway had been cleared finally.
Yes.
So you were presuming,
Yeah,
okay.
I would say that there could be some problem. That's why I really take all the precaution. So I was saying myself, I give myself 3 hours to reach the airport. It should be good. Okay. But actually, 3 hours apparently not enough because everybody flocked to NAIA.
Which terminal were you?
I went to Terminal 2.
Terminal 2, okay.
So finally, I reached.
Wait, sir. Before you reached the terminal, what did you do on the skyway?
Okay, that's where my problem is.
Okay.
So I started with Terminal 3, that skyway going to Terminal 1, okay, and 2. So about 30 minutes later.
30 minutes?
It's not moving. It's not moving.
30 minutes not moving on the skyway. Okay. Everybody's heading to the terminals.
So I decided I have to walk.
You walked? Were you the only one who walked?
No.
Or marami pang iba?
Marami. Okay, so I walk.
Buti na lang may wheels na mga laki.
Okay, yeah, it's a good thing. So after walking, okay. So I reach a cross section. It tell you, this side you go to Terminal 2, that side you go to Terminal 1.
Okay.
Yes. That was already after 1 hour.
Oh my goodness.
Then I keep on walking.
Yeah.
And finally, after 1.5 hours, I reach
The terminal.
Terminal 2.
Okay.
Well, just I'm too happy to note that the flight is delayed. Okay.
Okay. But did you know how many hours it would be delayed?
I didn't know.
Not yet. Basta delayed lang.
Delayed lang. Okay.
Sige, okay lang. So check-in.
Okay. The check-in of PAL is efficient. It's not as bad as Terminal 1. It's very efficient and fast. No complaint about that.
Okay.
So I enter and they say, okay, we have delay. And I was told, your plane is still coming in.
Okay.
To put a long story short, finally, at midnight.
Wow. Okay. So that means your flight was delayed by like
so many hours. So at least 10 hours.
10 hours. Wow. Okay. But ito yung sinasabi natin, but wait, there's more. Another horror story of a friend of yours.
Yes.
Of Mr. Ed Lacson.
Yeah, so my good friend was saying, Francis, you are lucky. Why should I be lucky? You see, his house going to Terminal 2 usually takes 50 minutes. And this time it took him 2 hours. Okay, but I thought at least you don't have to walk. on the Skyway. But he said, you know, I also waited 7 hours. So his plane, who's supposed to leave at 9 in the evening, he had to sleep in the airport. Finally, at 4 a.m. in the morning, they took off.
Okay. Well, interesting how Mr. Lacson described the airport, the terminal. What did he say? What did he say?
It's just like the bus station.
Bus station, but provincial bus station. Yun na nga, no? Parang provincial bus station, hindi man lang bus station, terminal dito sa Metro Manila, provincial. Goodness. And he also said it was like a refugee camp.
Yes.
The terminal. What terminal was he in?
He was in Terminal 1. That's worse.
That was the worst, no? Refugee camp. Wow, this is really sad. So, anyway, you know, when all this was happening, just as the planes skidded off the runway, and then as the horror continued to unfold, that it took a while before na tinanggal yung aeroplano, and leading up to that point, you know, everyone was thinking and saying that this is already the best argument for a second or an alternate airport in the nation's capital, and that's where proposals come in for other airports. We've been talking about this for years, hindi po ba, sir? Sangli in Cavite or in Bulacan, such as San Miguel Corporation's project, or even Clark. So I suppose this is your opportunity to make that argument.
Yeah, but you know, you go to any big metropolis. Apparently, they have more than one airport, and if not, they always build a bigger airport before they move over. The economy of the Philippines has been moving very, very fast, and more than 6%. It's just like flying. And at that rate, we really need much bigger airport. No? Even today, the international airport with all the best management, and I have to congratulate with very good managers down there.
Right.
They are doing very well, but then you have limitation.
Very severe limitations, no?
Physical limitation. There's not too much you could do about it. Even if we try to make use of it today, but we have to look at the future.
Right.
What's going to happen?
In the future, it could be just like 3-5 years down the road.
Yes,
you know?
the economy is moving very fast. And then with the foreigner who believe so much in President Duterte, there are a lot of investors. We have, at least this year, we'll be having at least 2 million Chinese tourists. And with all of this, I think we really have to live for the future.
Well, sir, we're going to go into greater detail in just a bit. No, I wanted to ask you more about San Miguel's project, for example, the proposal. But we're going to speak first to Senator Nancy Binay, who's joining us by telephone. Senator Binay, thank you very much for taking our call.
Good evening, Pia, and good evening to all your televiewers. And thank you for inviting me.
Yes, ma'am. Well, you said in a statement that the 61 unauthorized flights were, quote-unquote, highly suspicious and anomalous, and exposed the weaknesses in the country's airport protocols and the lack of coordination. When you say that, what exactly are you trying to say now? What is it that we need to do now?
Actually, it's not really unauthorized, but uncoordinated. Apparently, they got they informed CAAP that they'll be landing, but NAIA was not informed of those 61 flights. So we will be having a hearing on the 29th, and maybe this is one aspect that needs to be reviewed about the protocols when it comes to coordination with interagencies in government.
Well, yes, ma'am. You know, we were speaking to the Manila station manager of Xiamen Airlines a day or two ago, and he said that as far as they were concerned, yung mga recovery flights nila were coordinated with Manila airport authorities. What do you make of that?
But according to, in fact, this information of those 61 uncoordinated flights came from GM Monreal. So maybe Xiamen Airlines just coordinated with CAAP and not with NAIA. So, you know, we need to review the protocols. How come they can only coordinate with just one agency and not with the other agency, and then they get to land. And apparently, those uncoordinated flights added to the chaos, added to the delays of the other flights.
Okay. Ma'am, you're talking about chaos, the delays, the hassle. Ambassador Chua here saying his friend Ed Lacson describing Terminal 1 as a refugee camp and a provincial bus station at that time, when everybody was there. And you are talking about demanding accountability from those handling airport operations. How are we going to do that? How are we going to get to that point that we can make people accountable for what happened?
As I said, we'll be having a hearing next week. We will be reviewing the protocols. We will be asking them what happened, what went wrong. Because apparently, I felt like there was nobody higher than the GM. I mean, somebody was supposed to be there taking charge of everything.
Okay.
But
Parang
no one's, parang naging headless.
No? Parang conductor ng orchestra, someone putting everything together.
Yes, apparently.
Okay.
Or, kasi we could have used Clark. We could have utilized Clark, but that was not done. In fact, some flights already landed in Clark. How come we didn't, just bus them to Manila?
Okay.
So, I mean, that's one way of decongesting the delayed flights.
Right. Oh,
but, it was not done.
So, ma'am, what you're saying here also is that we are not prepared for a worst-case scenario.
Yes, maybe we need to review our protocols. We need to also have maybe guidelines for just in case this is a scenario, this is what we do. Because it was a wake up call. What happened the other day with Samen Airlines.
Now, there was quite a bit of criticism about the length of time it took to remove the plane from the runway, but the Manila International Airport Authority was explaining that there were many variables to look at. For example, they couldn't just drag the plane because that would have meant leaving a trail of debris. There was the fuel that the plane still carried that they had to factor in. No? But do you think there tama yung explanation nila? Can you accept that? Is that acceptable to you?
I think when it comes to the removal of the plane, I think the explanation is acceptable. What I find not acceptable is the way we manage the people inside the airport.
Okay. Is that just the responsibility of the airlines? Hindi, no?
Hindi nga eh. Siguro, maybe if USEC or maybe if Secretary Togade went to the airport and did all the coordinating, maybe things would have been different.
Okay. Many of the passengers would complain, they would miss flights, for example. So kailangan mag-rebook or kailangan, like for example, we were talking to a man who had come in from Ireland, Abu Dhabi, and then dapat diretso na Manila. They were diverted, Etihad, no? They were diverted to Singapore. Tama ba yung Etihad in this case or any other airline should pay for this man's ticket from Singapore to Manila? Paano yung how do we solve something like that? Yes.
I think Samen has to shoulder more than the 15 million that was mentioned by GM Monreal. Maybe Samen should reimburse the other airlines.
Okay. Well, anyway, Senator Nancy Binay, thank you very much for taking our call. Maraming salamat po, ma'am.
Thank you.
We're taking a short break. This is On the Record. Welcome back. Still with us, Ambassador Francis Chua of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Chairman Emeritus. Before we speak to Congresswoman Bernadette Herrera D, Ambassador Chua, I wanted to ask you what you think about the way the Manila International Airport Authority handled the removal of the airplane from the runway.
Okay, ma'am. There's always a first time for anything, everything. This thing don't just happen every day. And as far as we remember, we don't have this kind of mishap, luckily. This is the first time. So we have to learn from it. And hopefully, next time, if ever, let's hope that will never happen, we have already well prepared.
Well prepared.
So we have to give benefit of the doubt.
Will we be well prepared for a, like, as Senator Bina is so afraid of, a worst case scenario? Because ngayon pa lang, ganun pa lang nangyari, and this is what happened.
We have to, ma'am. That's we are mandated to do that. The safety of the passenger is paramount. And
but like you said earlier, Ambassador, there are very big limitations. There's only so much airport management can do if your infrastructure is ganun lang.
Yes, but in removal, if you go to the removal of the airplane, I think Secretary Garde, henceforth, he would put up a lot of equipment waiting there. But we hope that nothing is going to happen.
Yeah, parang standby lang. Okay. What about accountability? Who should be accountable for this, for the entire mess? If we were going to...
If we were to say that the one that caused all of this issue is the Sherman Airline. Okay. But if you read the statement of Sherman Airline, they're saying that it is because of the rain, the flood, and all these things. Okay. But at the end of the day, they do admit one thing, that the pilot could not see the runway. Okay. So the issue here is, why is it that this pilot could not see the runway? Is it that the airplane is not equipped with enough provision so that the pilot could see through even if there's a big plane, a big rain? Or is that a feature that we have to build in on our airport system? That even with big rains, the pilot will be able to see clearly where the runway is.
But haven't there been other circumstances that, there would be heavy rain, thunderstorms, and other pilots would land planes?
Precisely.
Filipino pilots, especially.
Let me put it this way. Filipino pilot is so far the best in the whole world. They got pirated left and right. And I don't believe that any other pilot will be as better as the Filipino pilot. That's why we're used to all those big rain, big storm, and everything.
And there were other planes that were landing at that time also, no? But none of them skidded off the runway.
So since the pilot admitted error on his part, maybe I think the company should be responsible for all
responsible and accountable for all this. Like, for example, sir, like I mentioned to Senator Binay, this man who had flown from Ireland, Abu Dhabi, dapat Manila, na-divert sa Singapore, iniwan siya doon, siya nang bumili ng ticket niya, nagpal siya mula Singapore pabalik ng Manila. Sino dapat nang magbabayad ng, if he was going to ask for a reimbursement of that ticket, sino dapat magbayad sa kanya? Tama ba, Etihad ba, yung airline niya, or should it be Xiamen, or who, what? Who's going to...
If you ask a lawyer, every lawyer have their own opinion. No? But from the layman's point of view, since the whole thing is caused by Xiamen, and maybe Xiamen Airline, they will be more than willing to solve this problem. Okay.
Well, sir, let's talk about, while we're waiting for Congressman Herrera-D, let's talk about, let's go into the proposal for that airport in Bulacan, in San Miguel Airport. You did also do due diligence on, I suppose, NAIA and, well, Clark's there already, but very briefly lang, although like you said earlier, talagang there are very many limitations sa NAIA. What else did you find out when you did that due diligence?
Ma'am, ideally, if we have enough space in Metro Manila, then expansion of NAIA would be a very good project. But unfortunately, the land is already too limited. And if we do not have parallel runways, accidents bound to happen. And if you look at all the proposal, it is well in Bulacan you could find initially 4 runways, which you could expand to 6 runways.
Yeah, this is the SMC proposal, no? 4.
So, you are actually building for the future.
That sounds like a dream.
Yeah, but But with all
a
this,
very nice
by
dream.
all of this dream,
Yeah.
it looks like they make it happen. This this connector and all this problem
Yeah.
that we
Okay.
used to have, but they make it happen.
Yeah. 1,000, how many? 1,100 hectares, no? That
Yes,
will,
yeah.
where the airport will be. So like you said, 4 parallel runways, 60 aircraft movements per runway per hour, meaning per hour 240 aircraft
Yes, ma'am.
movement. Wow, that would be wonderful. But we'll have to take a short break lang po, sir.
Yes.
We will continue this discussion after this very short break. Be right back. Welcome back to On the Record. We're still talking about the NAIA runway mishap. With us, Ambassador Francis Chua, the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And joining us by phone, Representative Cesar Sarmiento. He's chairperson of the Committee on Transportation in the House of Representatives. There is going to be an investigation. Congressman Sarmiento. Okay, we have that busy signal. I don't think we have him. Anyway, but I want to go back to Ambassador Chua first. Sir, we're talking about the SMC Proposed Airport in Bulacan. So like you said, 4 parallel runways, 60 aircraft movements per runway per hour. That means 240 total. Modern air terminals, cargo facilities, and the Shoreline Expressway from NAIA leading to that
Yes,
airport. This is in Marilao.
Yeah, yeah.
Right of way, walang right of way problems dito, or?
No.
No?
This is seashore. Seashore.
Yeah, but even sa seashore, minsan may wala naman, no?
You know, I've seen how they resolve the right-of-way problem. They just pay.
Yeah, okay.
And if they could not, if people refuse to get the payment, they don't go to court. They just make the tour. That's why the project really come through.
Yeah, but like you said, it's a project and everybody's hoping it
Yes.
comes through, no? But it is still, as of the end of June,
Yes.
correct me if I'm wrong, still being studied by NEDA's ICC, Investment Coordination Committee. It's been taking quite a while, right?
Yes.
Ang tagal ng, are we, what is it about our country that we like to study things for too long? Or tama lang na pag-aralan mabuti?
It always take time. If you base on the connector between the north and shore, I remember when Pinoy gave his first State of Nation, he was making mention about it. His second, third, until he reached his fourth State of Nation, that's the time the project start flying. I think it has been the way things being done
so
so far.
how much longer do we wait? Because like we just had this mishap at the NAIA, and like you say, and even Senator Bina, you know, we can't afford another incident like this.
Let's hope that we could make something good out of this incident. It would be a wake-up call that we better be hurry.
Although there are some people who would say, Bulacan, it's very close to Manila. In terms of airspace, if we had that airport in Bulacan, would it share the airspace of NAIA with?
You know, ma'am, that area,
or hindi naman
they
siya,
could
hindi na?
use the sea.
Okay.
Sa tabi ng lakad ho yun eh. They could use the space on the sea.
Okay.
They don't need to come all the way here.
All right. So it's like, you know, if only this gets approved,
Yes.
that's it.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
it.
Well, Ambassador Francis Chua, thank you so much for being here. And I'm so sorry we couldn't get Congressman Cesar Sarmiento on the line, but hopefully next week. Thank you very much, sir, for being
Thank
here.
you.
That is On the Record this week. Thank you for watching. I'm Pia Hontiveros.
Hindi na ba nag-inform sa amin na delay pala yung flight?
Wala silang mabigay na clear information.
Saka naman matulog ako dito ng ilang linggo, ng buwan.